Alright, so y'all seen the title of the video. I said, I hope that they don't re-release that Broly figure that I just reviewed.
That's right, I said it.
And before we get into the meat and potatoes of this stuff, shout out to my man Burst ZG for putting me onto this website. Basically, on this website, they have a complete list of all the Figuarts figures that have S.H.Figuarts Dragon Ball figures that have come out from the start of the line. So this is very helpful for me to lay the groundwork for this video. So let's start scrolling, shall we? Now some of this scrolling I'll probably cut out and just jump to where I need to be. Here we are, 2014. Of course, it's background noises killing me, but I'm gonna talk louder. Look at this, the first release of this Broly figure, 2014. All right. Anyways. 2014, right? Keep that in mind. Keep that date in mind. First release, web exclusive. This is back before we had premium Bandai, and so we had web exclusives. So in a way, they already kind of laid the groundwork even back then. Now that I think about it, for a premium Bandai thing to be a thing. The only thing is, premium Bandai seems to be even less accessible. Either way, let's move forward. So now we're in 2016. SDCC 2016 exclusive premium color version for this Broly figure. So now, once again, so this is the second release of Broly. First re-release. And now, we're in 2018. Event exclusive, but from what I understand, the original event that this is from is San Diego Comic-Con. So once again, San Diego got it twice for whatever reason. And this is in 2018. So 2014, 2016, and 2018. That's 3 releases for this Broly figure. And what is the reason why I wanted to point that out is I wanted to use it as a backdrop to say that they've used this mold or repainted this mold so many times already. It's only but so many times they're going to keep on repainting it and trying to give it to us. Unless they try to do that, they release this again and try to use that pearlescent paint on them. Which, I don't know how I would feel about that. I'd probably stay away from that. But either way, the reason why this is important is because now, first of all, this is an old mold. That's one thing I wanted to say. This mold is from 2014. What is it? It's 2023. So we coming up on a decade. It's about to be a decade old if they use this mold again. And yeah, I don't want them to use this mold again. This mold is dated. If you see my review, which this is a follow-up video too, you'll know that I don't want them to reuse this mold again. I think it's dated in some ways. Is it dated in every way? No. Like some of it is like far ahead of its time, I would say. But certain things like the skirt piece being hard plastic, I think the upper torso and like arms and stuff can use some updated sculpt work, but it isn't bad. I think the look of the traps, oh man, for me, I can't not see it. The look of the traps kind of throws off the look of the figure. I think the faceplates can be updated. The hair is fine, but I wouldn't mind an update for the hair either. Either way, very old mold. So this is another reason why, basically one of the main reasons why I think it shouldn't be re-released, or I hope it doesn't get re-released, because we don't need this mold for a second time. Now, the thing somebody might be asking is, alright, you're saying all of this, but how do we even know this is going to be released at all? How do we know that we're going to get another buff Broly? And first of all, first thing I would tell you is, remember, it's Broly. So Broly is going to sell. Broly is box office for Tamashii Nations, you know? And he's a Saiyan. Box office plus super powerful Saiyan. I mean, super powerful Saiyan plus, you know what I'm trying to say, cool aesthetic. That's always going to be box office. Second thing I would tell you is this. Remember, and I'll keep on pointing this out every time I talk about a new Broly figure. Remember, in San Diego Comic-Con 2022, they had a survey or a list of movie figures we would like to see released, right? And guess who's on the list? Regular Super Saiyan Broly. So you might be saying, all right, how does that connect to this Broly? Just bear with me for a second. So regular Super Saiyan Broly was on that survey. So fast forward to New York City Comic Con, which I actually attended. There was another survey given out, and it was the same survey asking the same question, except it was something slightly different. Guess what was different? The difference was that regular Super Saiyan Broly from the Z era was no longer there. Instead, what replaced him was base Broly from the Z movie. So basically what that tells me, and I think what you guys can infer as well, is that Broly is going to be in production. It could be it's probably in production as we speak. They probably figuring out the sculpt work, doing QC tests and all types of deals, you know? So why is all of this relevant to a potential new mold or for this Broly right here, Legendary Super Saiyan Broly? Well, it doesn't completely point to that, but at the very least, for everybody that has been wanting this Broly to be released again, you can have a little bit of hope, because there's been so many new fans or new collectors since 2018. It's 2023 now. That is a lot of people that have missed out on this figure. So one thing I doubt they'll do is release that regular Super Saiyan / base Broly from the Z era and then have you stuck with no Legendary Super Saiyan. So at the very, very least, I think we'll get a re-release of this guy to coincide with that new Broly, or the Z Broly that's coming out, regular Super Saiyan version. Now, the other thing is, instead of re-releasing, they can just give us a new mold. Now, why would they give us a new mold? The reason why I would say they would give us a new mold is based off of what I've seen from the movie 10 Broly. So, for the longest time, this event exclusive Broly I thought was supposed to be the movie 10 Broly, but it's like one fairly big difference. No, sort of big difference. And that is that movie 10 Broly's clothes are tattered. He has rips in his clothing. It's like the fabric has been duressed, or however you say, stressed out, whatever you want to call it. It's been damaged, basically. So, based on that, I'm pretty sure during the Buu era we're gonna get that more battle damaged Legendary Super Saiyan Broly. Now, how does that relate to now, right? I think it would not make sense for them, for example, to retool, like, let's say during the Cell Saga, they re-release this Broly exactly as it is, same mold, same everything. Now they're gonna re-release this Broly for this saga, and then they're going to release a new Broly during the Buu saga. That wouldn't make sense. I say just make the new mold now, and then retool this new mold that you already have from the Cell Saga, and for the movie 10 Broly. That's what makes the most sense to me. Now, I know that might have been a little hard to follow. It might have been, because I said it and it sounded a little confusing. But either way, if you have questions, you can ask me in the comments what exactly I was trying to say. But I think it was... Either way, what do I hope this Broly... Like, I've been talking about the look of the figure, the sculpt, and everything, all that stuff, right? What do I hope that the figure looks like? And you've seen it in the review video, and if you've been watching my videos consistently, you know I always say this: the Fighters model, the Dragon Ball Fighters model that they use for Broly. I even submitted that in a questionnaire one time. I was like, use the Dragon Ball Fighters model, because that model is beastly. It is a very good look. It's a very good look for almost all the characters, basically. I don't think any character looks bad in that game in terms of the model. So that's why I would suggest for the look that they should go for in terms of Broly. And if they don't go for that particular look, I'll post some pictures with like how he looked in movie 10, where I felt like it wasn't, of course he was still humongous in terms of size, but he didn't look quite as goofy as this. And even with that, I think the main thing is that he has basically no trap muscles. But either way, like I said, this is a figure that is not bad at all. It's a great figure, and it was like amazing for the time that it came out, the era that it came out in. It is like it was light years beyond every figure that in the line at the time. But of course, if we evaluate it by today's standards, which it isn't necessarily fair to evaluate it by, it's a good to great figure. I think what holds it up the most, I think, is the fact that back then Tamashii, was still using a good amount of paint on their figures and shading to help bring out that sculpt. So imagine what they could do with a brand new sculpt, and they decided to add that paint. Oh man, could be talking about figure of the year status. But either way, I'm getting ahead of myself. With all this being said, peace out.